So, you want to make a YouTube video. Nope, that's horrible. That's horrible. What is this? It's BBelle here, and I am going to show you exactly how I make my YouTube videos in today's video. If you're interested in finding out how I make every single thing from my brainstorming of ideas to editing videos to doing thumbnails and creating titles, you have come to the right place. So if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for some more videos like this in the future. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to split this video up into 5 parts. Part 1 is going to be the brainstorming ideas part. Part 2 is recording. Part 3 is editing. Part 4 is thumbnail design. And part 5 is uploading and creating catching titles and descriptions. So let's get into it. So for today's demonstration, I'm going to be making a video on Valorant. This video I'm going to be posting separately, but for the purpose of showing you guys how I make videos, I decided to make a video in the process. First, we brainstorm ideas. So usually what I do when I'm in the process of figuring out what video I'm going to create next, I go through my recent uploads. So we just go to videos and I look through basically everything that I have done from the past week. So in the past week, I streamed Among Us, Rogue Company, and Fall Guys. So I'll look through and Valorant. We haven't posted Valorant in a month. So let's come up with a Valorant video. So that's basically my process. Is if you already have created videos, it's really good for you to go back and see what you've already created. And if you're a variety channel like me, you go through the content that you've already made and figure out what game you haven't made in a while and what game maybe has new updates coming out. And that's really important for you to figure out what you want to do for your next video. That is a great way to start. If you haven't made videos before, it's very good to go onto maybe the gaming page and you go to trending and you go over to gaming and you figure out what are the top games that people are watching right now. So PewDiePie obviously is going to be up there. Mr. Beast was playing Flight Simulator. That's a newer game that you probably want to make videos on if you want. Fortnite, Minecraft, Among Us. So there's a bunch of different options that you guys can choose from if you're trying to pick what game should I make a video on. Here is a great place to start and look through and see some options. In my case, we're going to be doing a Valorant video, so let's get started on that. When it comes to figuring out what I want to create specifically for this video, like Valorant, there's not really any updates that have come out recently for the game. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a challenge. And I've come up with this challenge where I'm going to make my crosshair really big and try to get kills with it and see how it goes. Hopefully it'll be more of a funnier video and not so much of a try-hard video, because some of my videos are a little bit more try-hard. That's what we're going to do. So that is part 1 of brainstorming ideas. Now into part 2. Part 2 is a process where we start recording our videos. So what I do, if you guys don't know, you can use OBS. I normally record all of my videos on OBS. So this is Open Broadcast Software, OBS, which is what I use to record videos. You go to settings over here, you can go to output recording, and you can actually, it'll be defaulted on simple mode, which you could use if you really want to. But for my case, I go to advanced because I like to have as much control over the footage as possible. Usually you pick a recording path. The format, I pick MP4, but if you are one where your computer usually crashes, I would go with MKV or FLV. And you pick all the audio tracks that you want to use, your encoder. You can use your graphics card on your PC, or you can use your processor on your PC, which is X264. If you have a new NVIDIA processor, I would go with the NVIDIA graphics card. Now we go down to CBR. Make sure to keep this on CBR. The bitrate, I like to go with a high bitrate because the higher the bitrate, the better the quality. That's just my preference. So I have mine at 50,000 kilobits per second for all of my videos, and the keyframe interval at 2. The preset, I have it at max quality. You can, of course, tweak this depending on how good your computer is. High is the profile that I use because I have a second computer to record videos on. I make sure that OBS is the priority and the computer is making sure that it's using OBS to the fullest of its advantage. I have look ahead off, psycho visual tuning off, 0 GPU, and 2 max B frames. So that's basically what you need for the recording section. For audio over here, if you want to pick a specific audio, so usually you have your mic, you pick which mic you're going to use, and desktop, you pick which desktop audio you're going to use. I have mine set to system for my Go XLR and chat mic for my Go XLR because my actual microphone is plugged in directly to my second computer. Video, very important section. Let's say your monitor is 1920 by 1080p. Make sure the output is scaled to 1920 by 1080 if your computer can handle it, and if not, you want to downgrade to 1280 by 720. This makes it so that your videos will not look super bad quality, and it's a lot less usage on your computer. The downscale filter, I have it set to the highest, which is Lanczos. You should tweak around with this. Definitely, if you notice that your videos are very blurry, probably because you have this set to bilinear or bicubic. I set it to the highest quality because my computer can handle it. And of course, your frames per second, you can pick 60, 30, whatever you want. I'm gonna set this back to 1080. When you're done with all this, you can press apply right here and then okay. Like for this case, we're gonna be using my computer to record. So if you wanna add your computer screen, because my Elgato is not plugged into this is going to be a very simple, basic way that you can record. You just press display capture and press okay. It'll pick which display you have if you have multiple. I only have one, so I press okay, and it's now recording my screen, as you can see over here. So it'll be recording everything that I see if I press start streaming or start recording. So that's a very basic introduction to OBS and how you can start recording on OBS. Fairly simple and easy. So I just finished recording the video. My next step would be to go into my editing software, and this is where I do all of my editing for all of my videos. All right, so my footage is here in my timeline. Let's delete this track because it had no audio in it. So this is what my basic timeline looks like before I'm going to start editing any video. And of course, you can see how I trim things up. I'm going to show it very briefly. I'm not going to go into detail about how to use Sony Vegas. If you guys want to know how to use Sony Vegas, just look up some tutorials on YouTube. Pretty simple to see. So just really quickly, if you want to click this button if you want to split the clip and delete. So this part had no audio, so I'm just going to delete it because that's not when I started. Then right here, as you can see that there's noise right here, so I start talking. So let's check. What is this? It's BBelle here, and welcome to Valorant. There we go. Welcome to Valorant. And then right here, I want to zoom into the words Valorant. So we're going to do that. So when I want to, I'm editing really fast because I'm super used to it. But when I want to zoom into something, I will click this button right here, which is our event pan and crop. Then I just zoom in however far I want, which is right there. That's pretty good, centered. Then we just make sure that this is the front. So Valorant today. Here we go. Welcome to Valorant. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different video. Yes, we are. So that's basically what I do. Very basic clipping and cutting of footage. So let me just do a little time lapse of me editing this part. So just really quickly, I'll stop the timeline right here. Right here, I said the words really, really big. So I kind of wanted to make myself bigger. So an effect that I could use for this is over here to video effects. And there's a specific one that I always forget the name of, but that's the one I want to use. Oh, spherize. This is the one I like to do. So if you see that it's not particularly centered where I want it to be, I go over here to center and I move it to where I want it. So right about here, really, really big, and try to get some kills. So there we go. That's how you do a little quick little edit. So at this particular part, I did a little time lapse, but I do not want my audio to sound like that. So what I do is I press group, clear, then I delete just the audio. And the reason that we clear the group is because these two are already grouped together. So if I delete it, it'll delete both. So that's what you need to do if you want to just delete the audio for it. And right here, I want to add some elevator music. So I go over to YouTube and we'll find some quick and easy elevator music. So we have the elevator music here. We're going to cut it up to be specifically as long as this clip is. As you can see, as possible. Hey. And we got ourselves. And then another effect that I like to do is a fast forward. We can go over here to YouTube and type in green screen fast forward effect. Pretty easy to do. This is what I do a lot. We're gonna pick one that we like. I'm kind of going with this one. I kind of like this one. Now we insert a video track. The reason we do this is so that we can put this green screen over it. As you can see, the green screen starts about here. So we're going to add it right here. clip it to right here because that is when we end that particular clip. Then we go over to video and we go for chroma key. I put default, then I click on the color and I press this button right here. Pick the color of the background, and you might have to tweak it sometimes because sometimes it might not look good. So the high threshold is kind of messing it up. That looks fine. So here we go. As you can see, it's not really in the right place. So what I'm going to do is zoom in a bit to like right here. That's good right there. Let's continue the time lapse. All right, guys, so I edited that little bit of footage. I will put it on screen right now. What is this? It's BBelle here, and welcome to Valorant. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a different video. We're actually going to be doing a challenge where I make my crosshair really, really big and try to get some kills. So we're going to try to make this as obnoxiously large as possible. And we got ourselves a ginormously stupid looking crosshair. This should be fun. Just so you guys know, let me show you really quickly how to render out a video. You will go up to File, you go to Render As, you pick the location as to where you want it. I'm gonna put it on my desktop, so I'll click Browse, Desktop, we'll name it correctly, Valorant, Edit, Showcase, so I can show you guys that I edit. Press save, and I have favorites on, but if you don't have favorites, you will see that your interface will look something like this. Click on Main Concept, the one that has an MP4, and scroll down to Internet HD 1080p. Go to Custom Template. Make sure the profile is set to high. Your frame rate, type in 60 depending on the frame rate of your computer or depending on how good your computer is. Make sure that you do not allow the source to adjust the frame rate. Then everything can stay the same. For variable bit rate, you can put to pass. It'll be a longer render, but a better quality render. And you could set this to the maximum bit rate of your recording. So mine, for example, was 50. So we're going to put 50,000, and average can be half of that, 25,000. Then I'm going to go over to audio. That looks good. System looks good. Project, make sure to have it to best. That can stay the same. Color space can stay the same. And then you can click OK, or you can rename it up here and save it to what you want. So video 1080p. And then you can just press save. And OK. And you can see it pops up down here. You could favorite it if you would like. And then when you press show favorites, it pops up right there. And when you are finished, you go ahead and click on render, and it'll render out the video for you. Now we're going to be moving on to one of my favorite parts of the process of creating a video, and that is thumbnail design. This is one of the processes that takes the longest for me, but it's actually my favorite thing to do because I love coming up with different designs to make my thumbnails captivating and something that people want to click on. So let's get into that. So what I usually like to do when I'm going to get a thumbnail is look through my video footage. I only have this clip to work off of, so we're going to be looking through and looking at a specific moment where I feel that the crosshair is very prominent and would be a good thumbnail design. This is very sketchy, by the way. This isn't really going to be a good thumbnail, but this is just going to be for showcasing purposes. Here we go. So that right there, we're going to use that as a thumbnail. I open up Photoshop. That's my first thing that I do. Every single time that I'm going to create a thumbnail, I will open up Photoshop, and this is the program that I always use to create my thumbnails. I will go to create new. And the size for thumbnails is 1280 by 720. You could put the resolution higher. I keep it at 72 since thumbnails are relatively small. Press create, and I'm going to paste in my image here. Here is the Vandal. As you can see, there's a bunch of stuff over the Vandal, and you guys are probably thinking, well, there you go, the image is ruined. Actually, you would be wrong, my friend. We're going to click on this lasso tool right here, and we're going to basically go over all of the different images and stuff that are covering our thumbnail. And make sure once you do one, you have to hold down shift when you're doing others to make sure that you're not only doing one at a time. We are going to right click, we're going to press fill, and make sure you click on content aware and press OK. and then deselect. As you can see, basically all of it is gone. It does look a little bit messy down here. What I like to do is use the smudge tool and kind of clean it up a little bit. It still will look pretty messy, but luckily what I do is I like to blur out a lot of my backgrounds and just keep the focus on the subject, which in this case would be the crosshair and the gun. Now what I'm gonna do is actually gonna take this crosshair and make sure that we are keeping it. A good thing to do, by the way, quick trick. It's gonna be really hard for us to take that out ourselves. So what I can do is just copy the size of this, use the fill color, take the fill color, stroke it with a black, make the stroke pretty small, so like a 1 font, make this bigger. There is a line right through it, a black line, so we're gonna do that. That's long enough. We're actually going to delete the extra fluff. So there we go, we have one of them. We're gonna merge these two layers and we're just gonna copy and paste it. Retransform, we're gonna flip it horizontally so we can get that same exact look. Now we have ourselves a crosshair that actually looks pretty nice, as you can see right there. Merge layers, and there you go, you have your crosshair. We have the gun there, we have the crosshair here. So in order to take the gun out of this frame, we're going to use this tool, which is called the quick selection tool. And you're just gonna go around the gun and make sure you're selecting all of the parts of the gun. So first, let's try to select as much as we can. If you notice that it's selecting parts that aren't supposed to be the gun, like that, you click on this subtract from selection tool and you click on all the parts that aren't supposed to be there. And you got to kind of go back and forth until you think that you have a pretty good clean outline. We're going to press edit, copy, edit, paste. And there we have our gun. Usually what I do is I go through and very carefully erase the corners, which is a very long process, but quick little time lapse of it. All right, guys, so that looks a little bit more clean. So now what I like to do is we have the crosshair right here. We can actually probably distort the perspective of this a bit. Make this look a little bit more realistic. We're gonna make that big. The background is still here. What we're gonna do is take this gun out of the background completely. So we're gonna use this lasso tool, go around the whole entire gun, fill, content aware, and we're just filling this in so that we can have this as the background. So we did that. Now we just have to fill in this part. Now we can go over to filter, blur. And I like to go with Gaussian blurs most of the time. It looks pretty nice and soft blur. So we're going to just paste in the Valorant logo. The Valorant logo is here. I'm going to double click on the Valorant logo. I'm going to click on color overlay. Or actually, I'm going to make it green like this. And the stroke, I'm going to make black. Like that. Let's go back to the video and get a picture of my face. So there we go. I got a picture of my face there. We're going to paste that in. We are going to select the rectangular tool again and go over my face, copy, paste like so. So here is my face. We can kind of use the same tool we used before to take out the background. Then we use the eraser to erase all of the excess background that we do not want. We're just gonna have it right here on the side. And we have the crosshair, we have our gun. So let's make the crosshair a little smaller. Let's put a target in the background. So Jet from Valorant PNG. We're going to paste it in, put it all the way to the top so that we're going to take Jet out of the background. This doesn't have to be super duper clean because I am going to blur it so it looks a little bit more realistic. All right, copy, paste it, delete the background. And we got ourselves a Jet target. We're going to flip this horizontally so she's facing the right way. I'm going to make myself smaller for a second. And we are going to do a neat little Photoshop trick that I like to use. We're gonna have her peeking in through this side. So we go to the background. We take this door just like so. We copy and paste the door. And we're gonna put the jet character behind the door like so. Now our next task is to blur her. We're gonna blur her out. Not too much, just a little blur. We could still see what she looks like. We're gonna have our giant crosshair on her. We're gonna make this logo of Valorant smaller as well. It's a little too big. So I'm gonna put it on this side. I'm gonna put the crosshair over jet. One trick that I like to do as well is to put an outer glow on the object. And we'll put it in green outer glow in this case. Looking pretty good at this point. Now, clearly I would take way longer making one of these video thumbnails like this. I would not post this to my channel. I don't like the way it looks, but just for showcasing sake and to make this quite as short as possible, this is what we're going to be going with. We're going to put an outer glow on this as well. Probably would put it over here. Seems like a spot that it needed. And then I would probably add some text like biggest crosshair ever. Make sure to go over here, click on this button right here, and you can make the spacing between the text better. We're gonna make the color the same as the crosshair like we've been doing. Make the text bigger. Add an outer glow or add a drop shadow. Or maybe we could just add the stroke. And boom, here is the finished thumbnail. There are tons of different examples of thumbnails that I will show up on screen right now. So this is not nearly what I would do in the time frame I was giving myself. I didn't give myself that much time at all. I could make a way better thumbnail. It just takes a lot of time and effort. So that's why the thumbnail is the way it is. But yeah. All right, so you guys have brainstormed, you've recorded, you've edited, you've done your thumbnail. Now it's time for you to upload that video and get it out to the world. So what you want to do when you upload a video is you want to go to this little icon right here, create, and press upload video. You're going to click on this icon, or you can press select files. Find your video. Where is it? Here we go. And the video will start to upload. Now you could potentially do all you need to do through here. You could put your video title, you can put your description, your thumbnail, and everything. I like to wait till it's fully done. All right, so now we can click on the video right here, and this is the better view for you guys to go ahead and start creating your videos. So what I like to do is go to title, capitalization, click on this, and this is what I use to make sure that all of my videos are grammatically capitalized correctly, unless I do a video where I post all of the text in full caps. So for this video, we're going to title it The Biggest Crosshair Ever. And as you can see, it automatically capitalizes everything, but my flair is adding one word that is capital. So the biggest crosshair ever. Then I do this little hyphen and I'll type Valorant and PC because I usually put what platform I am playing on at that time. My description is already here because I have it preset. So I usually put in today's video, we are playing Valorant with a huge crosshair. Let's have some fun. And there you go. And once you do that, you can scroll down and press upload thumbnail. My thumbnail's right here. Valorant biggest crosshair ever video. You could put some tags right here if you wanted to. I'm just going to start typing in Valorant gameplay. So basically the tags have to be anything about the video to get your video out there. So you can put a bunch of different things about the video like Vandal, weapon, big crosshair, challenge, stuff like that. Once you have done that, you can make sure that you head over to more options. Scroll down here to game title, type in Valorant because that is the game you are going to be playing. And if you're using or uploading different types of videos that aren't gaming videos, you can click on category and click on a specific type. Once you've done that, you can press save and it'll put your thumbnail right there. All good to go. I like to go back to basic and add an end screen. When you add an end screen, basically you can put different videos that you've done in the past and also subscribe button. So let's say you want to add one video and one subscribe. There's the subscribe button and here's the video you can click on. This is specifically a playlist. If you don't want that, you could delete the element, add a video, put it wherever you want. Then you could put a most recent upload, best for viewer video, or you could choose a specific one. Let's choose my old Valorant video right there. And you just press save. And just like that, guys, you've created your own YouTube video from scratch, going from brainstorming to recording to editing to making a thumbnail and now to finally uploading and creating a great title. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe for some more videos in the future. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial-like video. I had some requests on making it, so yes, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.